This pose is called recline bound angle. So while we're lying down on our backs, we bring the soles of our feet together and open the knees to the outside edges of our mat. And you might want to place your hands on your belly, maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the abdomen. And start to become aware of the breath, noticing that as you inhale, the belly rises. And as you exhale, the belly deflates. Now, if you've been sitting most of the morning, you might notice a little tightness across the groin or the inner thighs. Try not to press your knees down. Let your exhale breath sink into that area to release tension. Then let's gently bring the knees together. And let's bring the knees into our chest to give ourselves a hug. This time we'll bring our hands around our shins. You can interlace your fingers and maybe rock side to side. Just kind of checking in with your back here. You can draw a circle with your knees on the ceiling. And this pose is Apanasana, knee to chest pose. You kind of tuck the chin a little bit towards the chest so the back of the neck stays flat and you're not rounding the back of the neck. And let's lengthen the legs all the way out and we'll take a fish pose. So you're going to bring the back of your hands underneath your glutes and press the lower part of your arms down, your forearms down to the mat. Now take the chin up towards the ceiling. You can lift the chest and then set the top of your head down on your mat. You're opening through the heart. Your forearms are down, but you might lift the upper part of your arms off your mat if you're able to. And let's take one more round of breath. And then untuck the head. This time bring the arms out to a T position so that your palms are facing down. Walk your feet back towards your glutes, separate them, and just windshield wiper your legs. Inhaling as you bring your knees up, and exhaling as you lower them to one side. So starting to connect the breath to the movement. And if you want to turn your head away from your knees so that you're bringing your head into this pose, you can look away from your knees. As your knees lower to one side, you'll turn your head to the other. Nice and slow. And if that doesn't work for you, of course, you'll just stay back at center, back at neutral, gazing up to the ceiling. Let's take one more round each side. And then we'll finish with our knees up to the ceiling. I'll bring the hands back behind or underneath the glutes so the palms of your hands are down. And then lift the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling and turn your toes back towards your forehead. So you're walking on the ceiling with flat feet here. And take an inhale. And as you exhale, lower your left heel only down towards the floor. Notice if you can keep the left knee straight, right knee straight. Then inhale as you lift your left foot up to meet your right. And exhale, lower your right foot down. Inhale as you lift your right foot up. Exhale, left foot down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. And we'll do this a couple times so that we're flowing this, moving with our breath. Keeping the core engaged, press the small of your back down. You might even round through your back a little bit. We'll do this for about one full minute. This is a way to kind of stir up that internal fire. When we have chillier days, we might start our practice being a little cooler. Not like our summer practice where we start the practice where we're hot to even begin. And then let's take one more round each side. Are you starting to warm up yet? And then after you bring your right foot back up to meet your left, turn the toes back towards the forehead. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, lower both heels together with the knees straight all the way down and out over the top of your mat. And pause when you get the heels out over the edge and lower down. Untuck the hands. Separate the feet. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling. And let the breath return back to normal. Because I know even though I cue breathe in, breathe out, we just have the tendency to hold the breath when we're using the abdominal muscles. Let's bring the knees back into the chest. And let's rock and roll until we come up to seated. And then we'll come up to seated and let's take wide legs here. So if you need to place a bolster or anything, a little rolled up towel, you can roll up a towel or a blanket and place it under your sit bones to elevate yourself. Sometimes that helps to tilt the pelvis forward. Now let's inhale, reaching up, and then we'll exhale over to our left leg. Janu Sirsasana, knee, forehead to knee pose. You can let your hands rest on your thigh or your shin, or if it's available, take your index finger and loop it around your big toe. You can hold on to your left foot with both hands. And let's come back up to seated. And then we'll inhale, lifting our arms up and over our head. This time we're going to exhale over to our right side. Turn your torso towards your right leg and engage your right foot. Heel down, toes up. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, forward fold towards your right leg. Any amount here. You just want to be careful if you feel this in your left lower back. Let's walk the hands back to center. We'll bring our legs together. And our first forward fold, engage the feet, heels down, toes up. Get those sit bones underneath you and inhale as you sweep your arms up and over your head. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to your legs. Again, shins, ankles, toes, whatever's reachable to you without pulling yourself towards your legs. And let your gaze come down too. And let's come back up to seated. And we'll turn over to take table pose. Coming to all fours, we'll walk the hands under the shoulders. And let's lift our left arm towards the front of our mat. Let's extend the right leg behind us. Now we don't want our right heel to be higher than our glute. Okay. Keeping the gaze down at the mat, we'll take an inhale and we'll exhale elbow to knee. We'll inhale, extending out. Exhale as we curl. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, curl. Really engage the abdominal muscles, keeping the torso pretty still here. You can always round through the back as you bring the elbow towards the knee. Let's do 3 more on this side. 2 more. And let's bring the elbow to the knee one more time. Then we'll extend out and hold for a full breath cycle so that we're inhaling and exhaling before we lower the hand and then the knee down to the mat. And let's take our right arm up towards the ceiling, taking a twist, opening and turning our chest towards the right side. Rotate your right wrist and switch the direction. Take the wrist the opposite way. And let's thread the needle. Bring the right hand down to the floor and bring your right arm in back of your left and set your ear, shoulder down. And then we'll make our way back to table pose, moving on to our right side. So this time we're going to extend the right hand towards the front of our mat and the left leg out behind us. And remember, left heel stays lower than the left glute. Then we'll take an inhale and exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, curl. You can round through your back here. Allow the breath to flow with the movement and the movement with the breath. Let's take 3 more and 2 more. Last time, bringing the elbow towards the knee. And let's extend out and hold for a full breath cycle, inhaling and exhaling before we lower the hand and knee down to the floor. Let's lift the left arm up to the ceiling, rotate the left wrist, switch the direction. And then we'll bring our left hand down to the floor. Let's tuck the toes under and come to our first down dog, bend the knees, and then straighten them as you send the hips up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Now let's step our feet closer together in down dog. Maybe the big toes can touch. With your next inhale, lift the left foot up towards the ceiling and straighten your left knee so you're in a 3-legged dog. And then as you exhale, step your left foot in between your hands and come up to a high lunge, lifting the fingers off the mat, up and over the head. Find somewhere to rest the gaze out on the horizon so the chin stays lifted. The palms face each other so the thumbs are going to be towards the back of your mat and your pinkies forward. Lift your right heel even higher. Sink into your left knee. Then take an inhale. And as you exhale, airplane your arms. Bring them down to the side so the back of the hands come up towards the ceiling. Now, option here to fly your airplane. Bring your right foot halfway up. Straighten your left knee. And lift your right heel up towards the ceiling, any amount. So maybe you're just hovering your right toes over your mat. You might be rotating the torso down towards your mat so that your torso becomes even with your mat. And then let's set our right foot back down on the floor. And we'll inhale up to warrior 1 and exhale warrior 2. Make sure you have heel arch alignment so that your left heel crosses over your right arch. One straight line. And reach the left fingers forward, the right fingers back. Take an inhale and exhale to reverse your warrior. Left arm up, right arm down. And take an inhale and exhale into extended side angle. Legs don't change at all. We're just reaching the right arm up and over the head, reaching the left arm down. Try not to hang out on this left thigh. Don't want to hang out here. Want to use the back of your left arm to open your left leg. Right arm reaches up. And we'll take an inhale. And with the exhale, come back into warrior two. Now take star pose by turning towards that right side of your mat, the long edge. So we're in a 5-pointed star with the palms facing down, okay? We'll turn the toes towards the long edge. And with your next inhale, sweep your arms up and over your head. Exhale, forward fold, wide-legged forward fold, bringing your fingertips down to the mat. Keeping the weight in the outside edges of your feet. Reach out, take hold of your feet or ankles, and take an inhale to halfway lift. Exhale back to forward fold. Bring the hands back down to the floor, and let's walk the hands over towards our left foot. Low lunge. Bend your right knee forward and lengthen your right leg out behind you. So you might need to slide your right foot towards the back of the mat. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, step your right foot one big step forward to meet the left. Take the weight into your heels, forward fold here. Now bend your knees so your tail's coming down towards the floor, and let's come up to chair pose. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, sit back into your chair. Keeping your gaze down at the floor, maybe out in front of your mat about 3 feet. You don't want to be looking forward, putting stress on the neck. Let the head rest in between the arms. Imagine if your biceps were earmuffs, the position of the head, biceps covering the ears. And let's take a forward fold. This time we'll have you separate the feet and come into ragdoll pose. Either crossing the forearms or letting the fingertips hang down. And we'll bring our fingertips down to the mat and we'll heel toe the feet back together. And let's come into a low lunge. Slide your left foot towards the back of your mat. Now walk the hands over towards the left side of your mat for a wide-legged forward fold towards that long edge. And this time we'll take a bit of a twist. Let's bring our hands in between our feet, right into the center. And halfway lift. So bring the torso until it's parallel to the floor. Then set your right hand down. Lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Bring your left hand down to the floor. Lift the right arm up towards the ceiling. Bring the right hand down to the floor with the toes facing your long edge. With your next inhale, come up to star pose. And as you exhale, let your shoulders come down. Now turn your right toes towards the front of your mat and bend your right knee forward for warrior two. Gaze out over your right fingertips. So the same poses that we did on our left side. Then inhale, slide your torso forward, and as you exhale, extended side angle. Careful not to hang out on the right thigh. No hanging out on the corner here. Lift your left arm up at the same time as you reach your right arm down. And if you have blocks at home, which I can see my blocks behind me on my bookshelf, so they're not doing me a ton of good here, but you could place your hand on your block, right? Now let's take an inhale. And we're going to exhale all the way into our reverse warrior. Try to reach down with your left hand at the same time that you're reaching up with your right. And if you're working on balance, you can gaze up towards your right thumb. But if you need grounding, I like to look down towards that back foot, my left foot. And take an inhale. We'll exhale back to warrior two, palms down, gaze forward. And let's turn to a warrior one. So we're going to heel toe our right foot out a bit. Turn the left heel out towards the side so the left toes are angled out. Reach the arms up and over the head. And take an inhale. And as you exhale, airplane your arms. Bring your arms down to the sides, back of the hands up towards the ceiling. Now let's come into a little lunge here. So turn your left toes towards the front of your mat. Lift your left heel. And we flew our airplane. So let's fly it on our right side. Bring your left foot halfway up. Or you can straighten your right knee and lift your left foot off the mat. Maybe you're challenging yourself with balance and you're rotating your torso down towards the floor. Wherever you are in your airplane, let your gaze rest on one spot. And breathe in and out. Try not to hold your breath. Back of the hands come up towards the ceiling. Then let's set our left toes back down on the floor, turn them forward, and reach the arms up for a high lunge. And take an inhale. And as you exhale, lower the hands down to the sides. Step the left foot forward. Come into mountain pose. Tadasana. Now inhale to reach the arms up and over the head. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. You might even notice your heartbeat next to your thumbs. Take one more round of breath. And as you exhale, lower the hands down to the sides. And inhale, lift the arms up and over the head. Exhale, forward fold. Let your torso come to your thighs. Let your head hang heavy. Bend your knees. Don't feel like you need to have straight knees here. Sink your weight back to your heels. One more chair pose. Inhale, lift your arms out and over your head. Exhale, sit back into your chair. Take one more inhale and exhale, forward fold. This time we'll ragdoll, heel toe the feet apart. Take a position with your arms that allows your torso to really rest. Generous bend in the knees. You can sway side to side or nod the head yes or shake the head no. Or maybe you find that stillness is what you need in this ragdoll. Let's bring our fingertips down to the floor. We'll heel toe our feet back together. And let's take a halfway lift. So bring your hands to your shins. Keep your back flat. Your chin tucked towards your chest. Draw the shoulder blades away from the ears. Then take an inhale. And as you exhale, forward fold. This time we'll bend the knees and we'll step our left foot back and right foot back to take plank. When we get to plank pose, we'll set our knees down on the floor. Lift the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Maybe walk the hands out a little bit in front of the shoulders. And we'll take an inhale. And as we exhale, we'll lower our chest down towards the floor. And then we'll inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And let's do this 3 more times. 2 more times. And 1 more time. Then set your shins and the tops of your feet down on your mat. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Slide the back of your hands towards your feet and bring your forehead down for traditional child's pose. Let the shoulders come forward towards your mat, round through your back. And let's come back to table pose. Come to all fours. And let's turn over to seated, bringing our heels forward. We're going to reach our fingers forward here. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, lower yourself away from your legs. Boat pose. Open the arms wide. Now notice I have my feet down on the floor. I'm going to straighten my back here. And if you prefer to lift the shins up towards the ceiling, lift the shins up. Take a little balance in boat pose. Try to keep the back nice and straight. Take 2 more good rounds of breath. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. 1 more time. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. And lower yourself down towards your mat. Walk your feet back. Bring your arms out to the sides. Lift the left foot up towards the ceiling and then cross, or actually let's rotate this left ankle. Draw a circle on the ceiling and then bring your left foot down to your right thigh. Supine pigeon. Maybe take this with a twist. Take your left foot over to the right side and set your left foot down on the floor. And coming into a little bit of a twist. You can place your right hand on the outside of your left knee. Let's bring the left knee back up to center. Right foot comes back to the mat. Let's switch sides. Right foot lifts up towards the ceiling. Take your figure 4. You can stay here or take any variation. I'm going to bring my right foot over to the left side of my mat and set my right foot down. And again, I can take my left hand, place it on my right knee to gently guide my right knee down to the floor. Breathing in and out. And let's bring the right knee back up to center. And we'll take a happy baby. So the soles of our feet will come up towards the ceiling. We can stretch out the legs, extending one leg and the other. Or straighten the legs, rock side to side. And then we'll take a full body stretch. The feet come down to the floor, the arms over the head. And take a full inhale from the fingers all the way down through the toes. A longer, slower exhale out. We'll bring the arms down to the sides. And our next pose is our corpse pose. So I'll invite you to put on your socks. Maybe you grab a little sweatshirt to cover yourself. However you get comfy on your mat. And softly close the eyes. And if this is your break in the day and you use your Shavasana as your lunch break and you just wish to kind of fade on out, feel free to just fade to black here. But I'll guide you in a 2-minute Shavasana. So let your body completely relax. Soften your shoulders. And especially release the tension across the forehead, across the bridge of the nose, the cheeks, and particularly the jaw. Shoulders and jaws tend to hold our tension. Notice if you can get those areas to soften and melt. And if the mind starts to wander, just tell yourself, I'm breathing in and I'm breathing out.